Well, I thank my friend for yielding, and Mr. Speaker, I know that tonight many Americans are going to put their head on the pillow and have a very restless and maybe sleepless night again, because tomorrow is going to be another day of trudging around with a resume that no one seems to want. Maybe they're concerned that tomorrow will be the day that the final foreclosure notice arrives in the mail. Tomorrow may be the day that they have to pull the plug on their small business that they've struggled so hard to sustain. This problem began to metastasize. This cancer began to grow in this country in the summer of 2007, when the days of irresponsibly cheap credit and easy credit came to an end and the bubble began to burst. In the part of the country that I represent, between Labor Day of 2007 and Labor Day of 2009, we lost about 36,000 jobs, just evaporated, the way 8 million jobs evaporated around this country. Now, the President took office in January of 2009, inherited what I believe was the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And we decided to act to try to take advantage of it and put some people back to work building highways and roads and bridges. Cut taxes for small businesses to buy a laptop or a truck or a piece of equipment. Had a substantial tax cut for just about every family in the country, 98.5% of American families. Had a credit so people could buy a home, get a substantial down payment to buy a home. And these steps, although I believe they were steps in the right direction, opposed unanimously by the other side of the aisle, have taken us in the better direction, but they're not enough. In my area, of those 36,000 jobs we've lost, between Labor Day of 2007 and Labor Day of 2009, we've gotten about 16,000 of those jobs back since Labor Day of 2009. So between September of 2007 and September of 2009, we lost 36,000 jobs. From Labor Day of 2009 to the present, we've gained about 16,000 of them back. I worry, Mr. Speaker, tonight, and I say to my colleague as well, that one of the reasons we haven't gotten enough of those jobs back soon enough is the credit crunch in this economy. I hear from entrepreneurs, large and small, people running stores and factories and software companies, that they're profitable, they have collateral, they have a track record of paying their bills on time, but they cannot get credit. They cannot get the loans that they need to make their businesses grow. This lack of credit is rooted in a lack of trust. And this lack of trust is rooted in a lack of confidence. And this lack of confidence, without a doubt, is rooted in the failure of the regulatory system to properly regulate the financial system and assure the investor and the American people they're getting a fair deal. Now, this House, late last year, passed legislation that would fix that problem, that would have some even-handed regulators look at whether the system was once again teetering on the brink of collapse, that would say that if you lend money, you have to have some skin in the game. You can't have one industry that makes a profit by originating loans but doesn't collect any of them, and another industry that's solely responsible for collecting the loans but doesn't originate them. And the legislation also said that if these steps to prevent another catastrophe fail, the next time there has to be a bailout of the failure, it won't be paid by real estate agents and teachers and truck drivers. It will be paid by the people who created the mess in the first place. Now, a version of this legislation is being considered by the other body. And I know that the rules do not permit us to comment on the affairs of the other body, so I will not. I will simply offer this generic observation. When the health care bill was in its final stages of debate, our friends on the Republican side of the aisle loudly insisted, I think correctly insisted, that there be an up-down vote on all aspects of the health care bill. And there was. There was an up-down vote on the underlying text of the Senate bill, and then there was an up-down vote on the fixed bill that occurred. That's the right way to do things. When there's a major question before the country, there will be an up-down vote. I hope that the other body adheres to that principle. With an issue this significant, with the stakes being so high, I think the American people not only have a right to demand that the problem be fixed, I think they have a right to demand they know that their representatives go on record and say yes or no. Mr. Garamendi, we say yes to responsible regulation. We say yes to getting credit flowing again in this economy. And we would say no to those who would block a vote to block the will of the American people.
Well, the question really is, whose side are you on?